I'm going to go to the cards. I'm going to find a journaling card that I want to use. And I want it to be a little bit lighter because that card ends up being pretty heavy with that wood grain background. So let's see. We have this one, we have this one, and we have this one. I think I'm gonna go with the orange because I think it plays best into what I'm working with here. So I'm going to command click the layer thumbnail again so that I get the marching ants around the layer. And then I'm going to drag and drop this right here, and it will drag and drop directly over that layer so I don't have to mess with it or move it around. And I can delete the extra layers once I don't need them. So now I have somewhere to journal and I have a title card. So the last thing I need to do is add some background to these cards, and I'm going to do that with the papers that come in the collection, which are very pretty. Make this a bit smaller so we can see. So here are all the solids, but I like to use patterns in my scrapbooking. So let's start with, I really want to incorporate this purple, so we're going to put purple behind Abby here. I'm going to hit enter to accept the placement, and then I'm going to clip the paper to the card. And then for behind Reese, I think I really liked this one with the newsprint as a base. Hit enter and then clip it to that background. So now that I've done that, I don't really like the way that these two are interacting together. So there's two different ways that I can handle that. I can change the background of this paper, which I think is what I'm going to end up doing, the background of this card, or I could just move it to here. So let's see what that looks like first. I think that I'm not really loving this wood grain background more than I want to move it. So I'm going to put everything back, and then I'm going to back up a little bit. So Command Option Z to step backwards until I have my layers back. Then I'm just going to pick a different background. So what if we did orange? 50% again. I'm not sure about that. I really can't do this tonal range because I didn't like the way that that looks. So what if we did something darker? I do like that. So let's merge everything together again by Command Shift E, Control A to select all, Control C to copy, and go back to this layout, Command and click the layer thumbnail to get the marching ants, Command V to paste. I think I like that, but now I don't like this. And this is the main problem with digital scrapbooking, is there are so many options all the time that you just really can't decide ever because you have so many great options to choose from. So what if we add the floral to the background instead? Maybe choose a portion of the floral that isn't so blue. So move it around. There we go. So the pattern repeats on the horizontal axis, so I'm just going to rotate this so that I don't have that problem. So I'm going to rotate it 45 degrees so that it's on an angle, on a diagonal angle instead. So if I unclip this paper, you'll see that it is rotated diagonally. And now the pattern won't repeat on that same axis, so I can make it work a little bit better for this page. Okay, I like that. Yay, okay, we're getting there. So I think I want a mat for each of these photos. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so that I can see the whole thing. Remember that these pictures are already printed out, so I have to work with the size that they are unless I want to reprint, which I do not. So I'm going to draw a box with my rectangle tool, my rectangle shape tool, that is about 2 of these grid lines bigger all the way around. And then I'm going to take the stroke off and instead add a color. And then I'm going to move it down underneath my photo so I can see what I'm working with here if I like that. And I feel like it's too big on the top and the bottom, so I'm just going to make the size a little bit smaller. I'm going to turn off the snap so that it doesn't snap directly to the grid line, and I can manipulate it a little easier. Okay, I like that size, and I think I'm just going to put that purple back. A little less purple will be a little bit more manageable. And now Reese needs one, and I'm going to duplicate this square or this rectangle, and I'm just going to move it down on top of Reese so that they are the exact same size. So I'm moving it up in the layers palette to go underneath, directly underneath Reese's photo. Then I'm going to move it down. And I think we need something a little bit lighter and brighter down here, maybe more of a pattern. But it looks like I've got mainly florals to work with, and I already have a floral. So I can do this stripey one. I would do this stripe, but it would be too repetitive right here. I don't really want blue. So what if we went with the orange? Move it down, then clip it. Oh, I like that. Okay, so we have a really basic digital layout, and what we can do from here is I can add word strips to it, I can add physical supplies to it, I can do basically anything that I want with it from here digitally or paper-wise, but first we have to print it. So like I said, I already have these photos printed, so I'm just going to delete them off of my printing page and leave instead the things that I do need printed. So I'm going to make sure that I merge my layers where appropriate. So I'm going to merge the paper mats to the paper mat clipping mask. And I'm going to do the same with the card backgrounds. So now I have all these printable layers, and I want my canvas is obviously, when I print, is going to be 8.5 by 11. And I'm going to need 2 papers to print this out. So I'm going to change the canvas size. So edit, image, canvas size. And I'm going to change it to 8.5 by 11. And now I'm going to rearrange all of these things so that I can get as much of it on the page as possible when I print. So everything has to be printed separately. The best way to print 4x6s is always to do them vertically. I'm going to turn my snap back on so that it snaps to the grid lines. Do the same with this one. There we go. And now let's turn off all this excess stuff. I turn off the cards. Leave the paper mats here. Let's see if I can make them fit. Nope, they're not going to fit on here. So my printer is capable of printing all the way to the edge. And if I print all the way to the edge, this will all fit. So I'm just going to go right up to the edge of the canvas and do that. And I can't fit anything else on here except for maybe word strips if I decide to use word strips. So I'm going to duplicate the canvas. And then I'm going to turn off all of these layers. I'm actually going to delete them. And then I'm going to turn the layers on that I want. I don't need that extra dog's life card. You can see how much extra space there is here. So what I could do is just print it on a 4x6 canvas instead of an 8.5 by 11, which is probably what I'm going to do so that I don't waste any paper. The other option would be to add a bunch of embellishments to this that you want to print out for layering in real life. Okay, so that is part 2 of this series. We now know how to create more cards and also export them for printing very easily. The next level of hybrid scrapbooking will be adding embellishments, both digital and paper embellishments, and that is what I'm going to be doing next week on a Photoshop Friday to finally finish off this whole layout. And you can see a little sneak peek there of what I'm going to do. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you. And if you have any questions about this video or any suggestions for what you'd like to see for future videos, I would really love it if you left those suggestions in the comments. That way I can incorporate them into future lessons. All right, thank you.